5%. That just means that you got a little bit of extra premium, which helped to also finish the school district. The effective borrowing rate is 3.9%. Today, the rate's a little higher than that, so it had a good timing as far as getting those bonds sold and closed out. And of course, those go through 2033. Is when, or 2033 is when the call is. 2048 is the maturity on those bonds. So moving to the next page, this talks about the savings that we think is possible on the original 2015 bonds, and that's one of the resolutions that's in front of you all tonight. The reason we're asking you to go ahead and adopt the refunding resolution is that we can then time the market. If the interest rates change quickly and we have the ability to sell the bonds and get a good solid savings, we don't have to go through all the lag time of getting a board meeting together, getting you all to adopt it. We're ready to go. We'll be poised, Ms. Heiser and I, we were poised, ready to go and refinance those bonds. If the interest rates don't come down this fall and the numbers don't work, we don't refund the bonds. We keep everything status quo as it is. We'll have the resolution in place that when the interest rates do come down, we can pull that trigger. But our goal would be a savings of about $420,000 based on what our target would be if we refund. So that's one of the bond issue, one of the resolutions in front of you tonight is a refunding bond. The second bond issue that's in front of you, and I think it's one Billy talked about to begin with, is the general obligation bond. This is an annual SCAGO bond that you all issue. And so it's for a not to exceed of $5 million. Now, you might ask, well, why is it for $5 million? And the amount looks like it's going to be roughly $2.6 million. That is to give us the flexibility that if there's additional money that's been collected from fee and lieu and taxes that have come in that's at the county treasurer's office for debt service, we can actually increase the amount of new money that's available. Y'all can take advantage of that capital quicker, and we don't have to go back and have another board meeting to try to get authorization to go. Finance staff, I started to say Billy, I'm not sure he'll still be here when we're making those final calculations, but we will make that final calculation once the June 30 numbers are closed out at the county. We know how much money is left over. We know how much money has come in. Fee and lieu in this district is a significant portion of the money that comes in for debt service, and so we really have to wait till all those numbers have come in to make our calculations. But at a minimum, we'll be able to issue about $2.1 million of new capital money, so that's new money the board can approve to do capital projects, technology, and various other capital needs through the district. The $417,000 is a payment on that 2022 acquisition agreement that we talked about, the capital lease to finish the middle school. So we've got to make the payment on that. And so the way that those programs work is you issue a general obligation bond to make that payment every year. And so then the new money, cost of issuance going through the SCAGO program is somewhere less than $40,000. So I just plugged $40,000 in as that number. So it gives you an idea of how we get to the amount. But the $5 million gives us the flexibility if there's been additional money collected over what we anticipated from last year's numbers. We know the $2.1 million is solid. The $5 million gives us that extra flexibility just to go to that amount. Next page is a graph of the debt service schedules. You can see it kind of shows you all the different bond issues and how they make that up. The target millage for the district is 51 mills. It's been 51 mills for the last two or three years, actually since 2022. And so 51 would be our target millage to maintain. We're not asking for a tax increase to borrow this additional money and to have the money to do these additional capital projects, so we're targeted at the same exact debt service millage that you've had in previous years. The page behind that is the numbers that go behind the 51 mil calculation, and as you can see, the payment structure of how much is paid each year on each one of those bond issues. The next page is the cash flow report. This gives you a breakdown of what the value of a mill has been generating over the last 10, 12 years. And as you can see, there's the fee and lieu program revenues have jumped dramatically. They were averaging about $200,000 a year. Last year, they were over $1 million a year. So if we just keep a very consistent $1 million going forward, and the last discussions we had with the auditor last year was that we felt that was a conservative approach, but with a possibility of being higher. And as everyone knows, you're having a lot of economic development in this part of the county. That's good for you all from a debt service side, and that money's coming in, helping to boost your operational budget, helping to boost your debt service without the taxpayers having to have to pay the cost. But our goal is, again, to keep it at 51 mills. And that's pretty much my report for you all. As it kind of outlines, again, the two resolutions. Ms. Heiser can talk about the legal aspects of those two resolutions. I do the numbers. She keeps us all out of jail by doing legal work. So, Brandy.
Good evening. It's always great to be with y'all. This is a beautiful school, and can't wait to see the new school. I know it'll be beautiful as well. The first resolution on your agenda is what we call the SCAGO resolution. It is the authorization for y'all to participate in the SCAGO GO program. I think Bob's explained that the document says 5 million, not to exceed 5 million. It probably won't be 5 million. I think that's unlikely, but we do want to be in a position to allow y'all to really receive all of the capital funds you can while keeping your millage at your target. So that's the purpose of the first resolution. It's really like all the others we've been doing for many years now. And if you've got any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions on this first one?
And you want to go to the second one? Sure. All righty. The second one, the second resolution authorizes us to what we call refund for in non-bond speak is refinancing. We'll refinance the existing debt at a lower interest rate. I think Bob explained that when y'all adopt this resolution, we wait until the market is correct. It'll be hopefully sometime this fall. And if the numbers don't look as good as they should, and we're not going to hit that target of the percentage savings, then we continue to wait. And there's no real expense to the school district, potentially a ratings fee, but we will know before we really commit any funds to the school district whether we think it's going to work or not. And then there'll be almost a mill's worth of savings every year. It looks like it'll be helpful in terms of being able to actually borrow a little more every year and keeping your millage at that 51.
Any questions, Dr. Jenkins? Ms. Fingers? No. Dr. Hodges, any questions? Thank you, Ms. Fingers.
Mm-hmm.
This is an action item tonight. We'll be willing to vote on these two resolutions. Do y'all want to do them together or separate? Keep them separate? Okay, number one, resolution not exceeding $5 million. We need a motion to accept this.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to accept the first one, not $1 million. $5 million, I'm sorry.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions on the first one? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Number two was the refunding bond of $8,500,000. We will need a motion for this one as well.
I make a motion, Madam Chairman, to do the refunding bond.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Anyone opposed?
Well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Bob and Franny, for all that y'all do for the district.
It's always good to see y'all, and have a great summer. We'll see you
Safe
in
travels.
the fall.
We'll see you there. Thank you, Ms. Fingers.
Okay, next on the agenda is the standard finance report. It's, everything looks normal. It's the same report that we've been giving with the revenue and expenditure statement, the detailed revenue, the new expense summary, and then the detailed expense. Everything looks in line. We're getting close to the end of the year. Most of the property tax has been received, with the exception of the fee in lieu of taxes, which is always received in May or June. For whatever reason, that's the way the county has processed it the last few years. So we don't have any information on that yet. But I've contacted the treasurer's office, and they said we should be receiving it soon. And that's what the wild card, as Bob says, on the debt service side. And then also, you can see we've got 2.5 million budgeted in our general fund side, and none's been received. But not to be alarmed, that money will be received, probably this month, if not next month. Mhm. Okay. If there's no questions, the next item is the third and final reading of the 2004, 2025 budget.
Board members, you should have this in your packet. About a month ago, Mr. Sanders went through it with all of us. We've already gone to county council. So tonight is the third reading on our 24-25 budget. So we will need a motion to approve this budget for next year.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve the budget for next year.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Saunders.
Okay.
And Mr. Saunders, I want to thank you for what you've done for DD4, helping us all these years with the finance office. And I know you're fixing to retire, but we don't want you to go very far. And I know you'll be a phone call if we need you, but I really want to thank you for what you did.
Well, you're welcome. It's been a
You did a lot of
privilege
work.
and an honor. Yes, I've enjoyed working
We've
here
enjoyed
very
working
much.
with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
And you're leaving behind a wonderful staff.
Oh, yes, they're a fine group, and everything will be fine. I think things are improving and getting better every day from all aspects of the district.
I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Saunders, and thank you, ladies. Next up is Human Resources, Mr. Beckwith.
First, don't be fooled. Mr. Saunders isn't going too far away. He'll be a phone
We hope
call
not.
away anytime we need him.
We hope good.
That was the only way he was released from his contract. So we have some catching up to do on policies, and we'll talk a little bit more later. But what we do need to do is go through the third reading of these four policies, the Ds. And so you've had these for some time now, about 3 or 4 months. There was an item, there was a couple items in here in policy DD4, board member resignation. The decision had to be made between the county board or local delegation. I think there was leaning towards local delegation. And so that's how we've had it highlighted in there. Do you want to do one at a time, or you want to do the group?
Board members, do y'all want to do this group of 5? This is our third reading. Well, it'll actually be 4, because BBBF is actually being replaced by BBBE. Would y'all like to do them individually or as a group? This is our third reading. A group? Group? Okay.
Well, the only change that I see is you see with the board member resignation, the local delegation, that replaces
Correct.
the local board, you don't have that anymore. Not the local, but the district.
Yeah, so that was the piece that was holding us up a little bit. And so we have BBDC, board member resignation, BBBE, unexpired term fulfillment vacancies. Policy BBEF is the one that is going away. And then we have board member conduct, policy BC, and board member code of ethics, code BCA.
So board members, we do need a motion to accept the third reading of these 4 policies.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve all 4 third reading policies on the board members.
I'm second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Those are approved.
The next one, we get into, the next group we have to do in 2 readings. These came up, we're currently going through an interim audit with our finances. These are 3 of the policies that they found that need some revising, and they need to be in place pretty immediate. So they asked that these be done in 2 readings. So this would be the first reading, the second reading, and the one that we would need to vote on would be in June.
Yes.
So today is just information, policy DID, inventories and fixed assets. The biggest piece of that is when we're making group purchases, in a set of $75,000 or more, that we have to do, keep an inventory of those items. And then the next 2, some items came up with our professional staff and support staff, vacation and holidays, our leave. This was adopted a couple of years ago, and the only thing that was off with it was there was contradicting language in 2 paragraphs. So we had, and this is the case in both policies, policy GDD and policy GCD. The one paragraph, and you can see the highlighted sections, said 45 annual leave days could be accrued, and then the second paragraph said 30 days of annual leave. And it contradicted each other. So we fixed it to make it 45 days in both paragraphs, so it's consistent. And that is the only addition or change with those 2 policies. And that was brought to us by the auditors last week, I believe, when they came in. It was one of the first items they found and brought to our attention. So those 3 policies, have a chance to look at them, and then we'll come back to those in June and we need to do a vote on them. And then we had 2 new policies come up and have to do with our safety plans. And if anybody's been paying any attention to what's been going on in St. George the last couple of days, the importance of safety plans, I would just say kudos to Williams Memorial, Ms. Mims, her teachers and staff, just an outstanding job over there. The response and keeping the kids safe and keeping the staff safe. Incredible job last week. So the plans that we have here, we have policy EBCB, which is safety plans and drills. Nothing fancy here.
Mr. Becker, are you going to fill in the red line?
We will.
And then next month, they'll be in there. We can pass them next month with 2nd reading.
These are fine with 3 readings, if I'm correct.
Oh, this one's okay?
Yeah, these are fine. These are 3. They just came to us and want to get them in place by the time we get back into the school year.
Got it.
So we have EBCB, and then attached to EBCB are 2 forms, which you see behind the other policy. It's EBCB-E1, which is the monthly self-assessment. And this is just being done by the district level and at the school level, of making sure we're following SIN policy and following procedures and guidelines. The fire marshal's been coming out pretty frequently, working with our schools and checking and making sure we're in compliance. So we have this one, and then we have EBCB E2, which is the school fire drill report. And this is nothing new. We have this, but it hasn't been uniform. This brings it into some uniformity between all of our schools to just make sure we're being consistent. So that is EVs, that's the packet for EVCB. And then the other policy we have is EVCB-R. Again, this gets into safety plans and drills. And you can see all the drills that are involved in that policy. There's a lot of reading that goes with that. We would just include superintendent and/or his or her designee in those red sections. So those are the two new policies. So it's 4 different things that are listed, but it's 2 policies and then 2 attachments that go with that first policy. Any questions about that?
Well, the schools will conduct at a minimum of 2 active shooter intruder drills each year, 1 each semester. Is that going to be with students in the building?
That happens with students now. That's not that active where you have that live shooting
Okay.
with, staples, that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
This is, we announce the drill over the intercom, or announce the code over the intercom. The students go and perform the drill,
Okay.
and then they follow the steps of that. But it's not I know exactly what you're
Yes.
talking about. It's not that.
Okay.
And we actually do this currently, twice a year already, law enforcement
Yes, all of
supports.
that we're already doing, the once-a-month fire drills, that stuff we're already doing.
You know, about 5 years ago, they came through, and Dr. Jenkins, you may remember this, and said that they were going to start limiting fire drills because they felt like they were putting the children at risk having them all out on the front lawn or, at the time because of all the active shooter. So they've actually gone back to 1 a month. We are doing 1 a month?
Yeah, and it never really went away. It's still
Okay.
been a pretty common practice.
Okay.
There was a conversation about it back several years ago, probably 15 years ago,
Yeah, it was a while back. Okay.
because there were a couple incidents like that.
Right.
They usually do them once a month.
Once a
Yeah,
month,
they used
once
to
a month.
always do them once a month. So
And
this
the
is-
schools will do it, and then they submit it into their shared drive on Google Drive, and we have access to it.
Right.
And we usually have a maintenance team member there, so they walk the building, make sure the horn strobes and all work, and then they watch the school clear the panel, make sure it's cleared, so that does a panel inspection each month as well.
It's wonderful. Y'all are doing a great job at safety. Mr. Martin especially are doing so much. So these are 3rd readings.
Third reading, so we'll
board
come to
members-
those in June and July.
Got it. And the ones for 2nd reading, board members, please look over those very closely. Reach out to the superintendent if something jumps out at you so that we can pass those next month, because they do need them before July.
And that's it for,
All right, thank you. Next up is Mr. Martin.
Good evening. Well, this is getting ready to be the extremely busy season for facilities. We've been in several meetings with contractors and vendors working on assessments and project planning for summer and fall break. Meetings have included assessing our fire alarm systems again for upgrades, all the bus camera systems, phone systems, PA systems, and many other items. We currently have an advertisement out, a request for qualifications, and we'll be selecting construction management as at-risk firms. And I think the deadline for that is the end of the month. We met with Woodland High School, the graduation committee, so we have everything finalized, looking for another successful and beautiful graduation day. Thompson Turner, we met with them. They're wrapping up their state facility assessment, and we actually got the application to apply for funding. So fingers crossed on how that goes. We're shooting for the stars on that. We're still continuing our owner architect contractor meetings weekly at the school, staying very involved with what's going on there. The architect's finalizing her punch list, and then we'll go behind that punch list and make sure that it's satisfactory for us. I recently attended a Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Tri-County Local Emergency Planning Committee meeting. which is very cool. The focus of this meeting is continue building a foundation on a newly formed committee, and we discuss state expectations, committee board nominations, and upcoming hurricane season. So already planning for, supposed to be extremely active hurricane season. That doesn't mean big, because one storm is all it takes to make it a big season. I provided a list of many summer work projects that we're planning on doing. A lot of that we've already started the groundwork for, so we've got potential to get some of that completed. Not all of it's going to be ongoing. A lot of that's capital projects as well. If you go down to the capital project and assessments, we reiterate that we're kind of waiting to see what the state comes back with funding-wise before we pull the trigger on some of our capital funds. So it's kind of a wait-and-see thing.
Do you know how long that's going to take after the application?
Well, Thompson Turner says that they've been seeing quick turnaround. I know in the past years, fingers crossed, we hear something end of June, so we can really get going. Any questions? Sir? Well, he gave us a 30 to 60 day window. He's gonna, because it's a smaller project for them, they're in the middle of big projects, they said they'll fit us in. So he gave us 30 to 90 days. That's what we're hoping for before August. So last time, and it's the same vendor that did it before, I think it took around 7 months to get them out here. And again, we've called around to other vendors, but that's such a niche market, and he's one of the best recommended by everyone, so. But they gave us a 30 to 90 day window, and I'll be checking on that, every other week. Any other questions?
Any other questions, board members? Great report, Mr. Mark.
Well, thank you so much.
For all your work.
Appreciate it.
Next up is curriculum and instruction, Ms. Corey Prince.
Good evening. So I'm going to wrap up the year here with some normal business, some local board-approved courses, and some adoptions. But I just wanted to take a minute to give some celebrations. I'm just really proud of all the hard work our schools have done this year. They're always committed to having strong academics. This year, we've seen an increased focus on just building that school community and culture. And so we've had our schools take on the house system, really beef up their PBIS systems. So I think that's a huge celebration, just that focus on building community in the whole child. Our Media Tech program has some celebrations. We've really seen that program take off at Woodland High School. We had 4 students pass their industry credential test this week. One student had a perfect score, and we'll have 2 of these students graduate as our first completers from that program, which means that they have completed all 4 courses in that pathway. So that is very exciting for us. Been working with the high school to really offer more career pathways and partner with our industry partners. There's exciting work going on in that area. The career school is a big part of that as well. So just looking forward to building those pathways and those partnerships. Our Governor's School students, we have a partnership with the Governor's School of Science and Math in South Carolina, and we have the Accelerate Engineering program. So we had 3 graduates from that program recently, and that is a tough program. That is a very rigorous program. These children or these students, they really do sacrifice some other areas of their teenage lives to commit to the time it takes to complete those courses. The school day runs a little differently than other courses at the school. So just really proud of them, and we have added 5 new students into that program for next year. So, but that was Peter Smith, Peter Missick, and Davina Perry. And those were our 3 graduates. Let's see, I'm gonna not say everything. We have students that are going out this summer competing and representing our school district. During those summer months, we have students everywhere from Seattle, Washington to Orlando, Florida, and they're not stopping that hard work during the summer, so they're showcasing their learning and working during the summer at those competitions. We're rolling into summer school. That will start June 10th. We're confirming all of our students now, getting all those enrollments finalized. We're really focusing on high-quality academic experiences for our students, but we're wanting also to give our students a good enrichment experience during the summer. So Mr. Coley, again, he's going to be doing a media tech camp with our students, but we're really wanting to expose our middle school students to those career pathways before they get to high school. So that's, we're really happy that he's partnered with us for year 2 on that. We have our elementary students getting introduced to drones. We have yoga, robotics, soccer, culinary, and a lot of arts integration experiences. So really excited. It never stops. Summer just keeps us going. And our ultimate excitement is we're just ready to get into the new middle school and bring those 2 staffs and all of those students together. We are so excited about the programming we're going to have there. I went in there for the first time the other day, and I'm just super excited. We really were hoping we'd have summer in there, but, super excited about getting in that building in August. So the real business tonight is we have a textbook adoption. I'll give you a heads up, the state did approve some more funds, so I have a few more that will be coming after this one between now and August. But the one that we have for tonight is AP European History. That's a new course that we'll be offering at Woodland High School. So I'm just looking for seeking the board vote and approval on this particular text that was selected by Woodland High School.
Board members, it's on the back of your packet of all the textbooks listed. AP European History. Sounds very interesting. A lot of reading, don't you?
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
How many, I know that COVID came in and did things to us, but how many AP courses do we have down at Woodland?
A total of the AP courses, so that can change. Do you know how many are off the top of your head that you have?
4 right now.
Okay. 4, and they're looking to offer some more for next year. English.
We have 3 history and 1 biology.
Oh,
5. We have 3 history, 1 biology, 1 math.
Okay, now they offer to seniors, am I correct?
they can be offered to students at all different grade
We have
levels.
AP in ninth, we have an AP in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, primarily.
Okay. And the AP European History is going to be.
10th grade. 10th grade.
And one other thing I want to ask about the articulation of agreement with Trident Text. Do we still offer
Yes.
students the opportunity to?
Yes, we've actually been working on that now, so our dual enrollment program. So we are looking at next year offering our students more to make it a sequence of 8 courses that we partner with Trident Tech so a student could sign up to be in that program. And then over the course of their high school years, they would complete all 8 of those courses.
And those are seniors, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, they can enroll, I mean, Mr. Lake can correct me if I'm wrong, but mostly your juniors and seniors are in your dual enrollment courses.
Mostly juniors and seniors because they have to have prerequisites to be in those college courses. We also have partnered with the governor's school on another project for higher level math, dual credit courses through, I think it was Coker College. So we have multiple opportunities for dual credit enrollment for our students. But yes, sir, primarily juniors and seniors only for dual enrollment.
I guess what I'm getting at is if they really want to, students want to, they can leave Woodland with at least a first semester college work.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what they can do once they commit to that program. And another program that we're putting together is a dual enrollment teacher pathway, where it can be combined with their teacher cadet program, because they already get dual enrollment or college credit for that course. But we're building out a sequence of courses that are focused on on education courses, the students that might want to pursue a career in teaching and education. So that's one of our pet projects that we're working on for next year, and Trident Tech has been very helpful in putting that together as well.
Thank you.
So this
Thank
is
you,
an
Ms. White.
action item, board members, to approve the AP European History for the 10th grade. Motion, Dr. Jenkins. I'll second that. Second by Ms. Infinger. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved.
Thank you. And I just have one other thing. These are our local board-approved courses that we have. So you'll see on the handout there, that's a listing of all the ones that you guys previously approved last year. And I added 2 new courses to the top, and the course codes are there as well. But you will see that we're going to offer, or would like to offer, a youth court elective next year. So I'm super excited about this one. Our teacher, Miss Sarah McClellan, she has put together the syllabus for this course, and our plan is to add Youth Court 2 next year, so the students could continue in that pathway. And then Miss Monica Tutter has been working very hard to do a unified PE course as an elective, and you can read a little bit about it there as well on the handout. But so,
The youth court is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
very exciting.
yeah, she's excited about it too.
Yeah. Do you need us to approve these? You've already been approved?
Typically, we have you guys approve these every year, so.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Okay, do we need to do a vote on that?
All the,
Or we?
we voted on the AP. So
Okay,
we-
yeah, we need to, and do the local board.
That's what-
Yes, yes, we do
okay.
need a vote on those
Okay.
as well for the
All right.
local board approved
All
courses.
right. So all the other courses listed in here, board members, we do need to vote on that.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve the approved already courses.
Courses listed. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand.
Thank you.
Ms. Nancy, Dr. Fritz Stevens, Student Services.
Good evening. I have 3 field trips. The first one from St. George Middle School. Mr. Cody Floyd, he would like to take the children to the state conference, the state FFA conference in Greenville. And they would be using the Career Schools activity bus, and this is funded through fundraisers and the CTE program.
That's what we added, right?
Yes,
That's what was added. No, we were talking to this.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's FFA,
yes.
and when is the date?
They will be going June 18th through the 20th.
June 18th through the 20th. FFA, and that's what program?
That's St. George Middle. Then second one is June 8th through the 13th, Woodland High School. And Major Logan and Sergeant Simpson would like to take the children to their annual, it's like a JROTC Cadet Leadership Challenge, and that is at Fort Jackson in Columbia. And the military usually take care of that. Okay, the third one is June 11th through the 13th for Woodland High School. Miss Linda Lewis would like to take a group of students to Atlanta, Georgia for a college tour, which is funded by South Carolina State University, and is through a charter bus, and they do have the information for insurance purposes, because it's a charter bus that they have used in the past.
That was in Atlanta.
Yes, Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, just 3.
So board members, we do have three, and we can vote on these individually. June 18 through the 20th, St. George Middle, the FFA.
Madam Chair, I second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Folks, seconded by Ms. Infinger. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, that one's been approved. And the ROTC, June 18th through the 13th for Woodland High School, going to Fort Jackson. That really sounds intense. So,
Madam Chairman, I make a motion for the ROTC field trip, 18th through the 20th.
motion made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. That has been approved. And the last one, June 11th through 13th, Ms. Lewis, taken on a college tour in Atlanta, Georgia.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve Ms. Lewis's trip from 11th to 13th to Atlanta.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Infinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Field trips approved.
Thank you. As always, the children of Dorchester School District
And
4
always
appreciates
tell
it.
them to be safe
Okay.
and good. And good, yes. Next up is the superintendent report.
Well, we're going to start with a quick presentation. We're very fortunate we have this opportunity at Woodland Middle School, and we have a visitor with us today. I probably should let you go first, Ms. Ferguson. But Patricia Ferguson, she's with the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce, and I got to know her a little bit working with Volvo. She brought Volvo to us, and that's been a great opportunity we got about 10 of our students that are staying strong with it, and I think they're going to be successful here this month with completing that program. But that really was spearheaded by Ms. Ferguson making that connection with us. So she wanted to come and present to you a quick little summary of this Operation Space Talk SC program that's coming to us.
Thanks, sir. Good evening, Madam Chair, board members of the board, Superintendent Beckwith. Thank you for allowing me to steal a few of your minutes, esteemed colleagues and guests. I'm excited about this opportunity to talk to you about Operation Space Talk SC and what that involves. It's really a project through amateur radio on the International Space Station. You heard it right, Space Station. So we're going to work with Woodland Middle School, the new Woodland Middle School, and having our students, along with 4 other schools along the I-95 corridor, have some classroom activities around space, around amateur radio, and we'll work up to that day when we'll have a simulation on Mars at the Citadel. We have quite a few partners that want to help us with this project. And then from there, hopefully, if all works well, we'll have the astronauts overhead, and students from each of the represented schools will have an opportunity to ask questions of the astronaut overhead. Now, all the students will be eligible to have that opportunity. However, they have to earn the right to ask those questions. We're going to teach them about work. But with that, we're also going to train our educators for this session during July. We'll also have some great introductions, as I said, in the classroom. They're going to build a rover that will be on that Mars simulation. Then they'll come and they'll compete against each other to see who learned those STEM skills, who learned about communication, who learned about amateur radio, and certainly have that opportunity to speak to the astronaut, maybe ask them some questions about things that didn't go so well or what they could do better. Following the project, any student that wants additional training, we'll provide that opportunity for them to learn more about space or learn more about amateur radio. And we hope that you all will help us. Maybe there was a question you wanted to ask an astronaut when you were in middle school, but you didn't get a chance. So this might be your chance. But we do know that we want the students to learn more about this profession, about the careers, about the skills that are needed. And we are confident that there's an astronaut in those schools. In your school, we want to find them, or maybe that STEM expert, or maybe that student that just wants to play around with amateur radio. So with that, we hope that you help us out, help us spread the word, join us. You might see some contests, some competitions. So bring your question. There's no shameful question, but we do believe that these students should have that opportunity to prepare for these outstanding STEM careers, and they're being increased every day. I know you've heard of ChatGPT. So we want them to be ready. So we hope that you help us identify these great students and connect them to these outstanding careers and help us set them on the path to brilliance. So thank you all for allowing me to speak with you today. Again, I'm Patricia Ferguson with the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce, and I will certainly be here if you have any questions for me at the end of the session. But thank you so much, and thank you, Woodland Middle School. We're excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep looking out for us. Appreciate it. Yeah, exciting opportunity, and I know when Mr. Kennedy saw that come across, he was a little giddy about it, a little excited about the opportunity.
As a right,
So we're excited to see that come to fruition.
wonderful opportunity.
What I want to bring to you all, action item, is the summer schedule. Continue with having the abbreviated work weeks throughout the summer. And it would start the week of June 10th, and then the last abbreviated week would be July 15th. Now, you can see June 10th week and June 17th week are bolded and italicized because we will have summer school on those Fridays. And so you'll see at the bottom, we have a few departments who are going to be required to have somebody in district during those days just to make sure someone's available in case there's a need for it. So we make sure everything is operating functionally with our summer school programs, getting students home, getting them fed, answering any questions when it comes to programming. So, but this would be an action item for you all if you see it fit.
All right, board members, look at it, and it is an action item, so we do need to vote on it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask Mr. Beckwith.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve this work schedule for the summer.
A motion has been made by Ms. Henfinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Got it approved.
Everybody out there, thank you.
I'm sure they do.
Next thing we've talked about over the last few months is the staggering bell schedule to make sure we have the adequate transportation across the district to get our students to and from school without doubling up buses, without having to put multiple levels of students on the same bus. We're continuing to work. We've been working with Ms. Felder. Ms. Felder has a lot of work to continue to do, and we'll continue to work together on that project. But what you see here in front of you is what the proposed bell schedule would look like. It will be a work in progress as we start developing routes for the 24-25 school year. But you can see where we lie. Elementary schools will start a little bit earlier, so we can make sure we're given adequate time to start running those secondary routes. And then just because of the positioning and where we have to park our buses, so we're not double running routes and looping our buses around on Kennedy's Road and Shortcut Road, you can see that the middle school would end up with a little longer day. That way we don't have buses leaving Woodland High School and then going back to Woodland High School and just going back and forth on Kennedy's Road. So Mr. Kennedy said he can fill that 20 minutes of time, and some great instructional opportunities. And so this is where we are. You know, this is a big shift from where this district has been for a lot of years. It'll be a big shift for our bus drivers. There's still some questions when it comes to making sure we're adequately paying our bus drivers. And one of the fears or concerns that comes up constantly is that they're going to lose out on some pay, and that is 100% not ever going to happen. Actually working at how we can try to increase that pay because they certainly deserve it. So where they are now with their salaries is where they will never go below. We're certainly looking at ways to improve it, increase it. So this would be an action item for the board.
All right, board members, this is an action item.
Madam
Yep.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the new schedule for the bus drivers.
A motion has been made by Ms. Henfinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. Are there any further questions? Yes, sir.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
The only question that I have is that this is a major change for the personnel and also the people in our district. Is there, or has there been any thought given to how we notify our parents or the people who have children to make sure that this doesn't come as a, surprise to them, which you're gonna have on the first day of school, but that they'll know the schedule?
Yes, sir, you all approve it, it goes out. Just like our academic calendar, as soon as it's approved by y'all, it goes out. Because we certainly know there's planning to be involved in this process. And with this is where a lot of high schools fall now. A lot of middle schools start later and later. You get practicing starts with athletics, starts before school in a lot of cases, so they're not staying here too late. So they're able to stagger that way, especially with your early fall sport, football, where half the time they can't practice because of the heat. Same thing with the end of the season sports and athletics. So just opportunities there. We've already discussed some things with early drop-off for families that need some support with early drop-off. And, we'll accommodate and we'll do whatever we can to make it work perfect.
Well, my question, my concern again was the elementary students, 7 o'clock arrival time in the morning. And that, shouldn't be a problem as long as parents know that they, 7 o'clock is start time. So just let them know, in advance.
Absolutely.
Any further questions? All right, the motion has been made by Ms. Hinfinger, seconded by Dr. Hodges. All in favor, please raise your right hand. It is approved.
And then the last item here is the splashes and safety. I just wanted to update y'all. We're doing this again. We did it last summer at St. George Middle School. That's a preventative drowning program. We partner with the different rec departments, Dorchester County Rec, we work with Colleton County Rec, Colleton County School District. They bring the pool to the school. It'll be 2 weeks of lessons that'll be provided. And the participation and the turnout last year was incredible. They filled every slot, every day. With children, the parents were very supportive and very involved. Really just a great program. And so they reached out to come back again, and we certainly wanted that to happen. So they will be coming back in June. And the feedback already been great.
Was there a fee that they had to pay for it?
It was a minimal fee. I believe it was about $5, just an accountability piece, but it was minimal, and it did not deter anybody from getting out there and participating. And the last thing, real quick, it's not on this list, but every year we do the School Board Association recognition of our high school graduates, and where you all hold up different pieces of paper and get your pictures taken. So today, y'all, is a picture day. Picture day. And Ms. Smoke made sure Mr. Lakin had the backdrop ready for you. And then we'll go ahead and post those and we'll send it to the School Boards Association as well. So once we go in, as we head into executive session, we can take these pictures.
Okay, that sounds good.
And that is it for me.
Well, thank you, Mr. Beckwith.
Thank you.
At this time, the board will take a motion to go into executive session, but I just want to say thank you to our superintendent, to all our staff members for a great school year. I do hope you get some breaks and rest over the summer. We just want to thank you. It's been a great year. When you think about all the things that's been accomplished, the kids that have been signed to college, the athletes, all of the important things that y'all have done this year, the Special Olympics recently, so many things, the vision that you did this year for the kids. All the kids had vision tests. They needed glasses. They were provided with that. So I'm proud to be on the board to see all these things happen. And I'm proud to be a part of this, and I think I speak for everyone on the board when I say that. But just have a great summer, be safe, and thank you all so very, very much. So at this time, we will take a motion to go into executive session.
I second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Folks, seconded by Ms. Hinfinger, to go into executive session. All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.